And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Thursday, September 12th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. We welcome you Thursday morning, and we're glad to have you with us and glad to be on the air for Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. We have Paul Tubbs here this morning. Paul, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
We have Ronnie Kelly here today from sales at Bates Ford. Ronnie, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
And I tell you what, I'm glad to be able to say good morning to you on the air. But we didn't make it yesterday. We'll talk more about that later. But
I heard there was some difficulty there.
We had a power failure yesterday, and if you don't have electricity, you don't run. So that's what it was. But we're glad everything's going fine today. And of course, Bates Ford, the dealer that'll trade for anything that don't eat. So, Paul, get us started this morning.
Yeah, I mean, it's that time of year where you got boats, lawnmowers, trailers, any campers, trade for a lot of campers, anything like that you're willing to get rid of, or if you want to bring down, let us appraise and see if there's a car you're interested in. Come on down. We'd be more than happy to try to see if we could do that.
I've always wondered what you do with those things when you trade for them.
Sell them. That's one of the unique things during the kind of the 2008 hard times. That was kind of Mr. Bates's idea of, hey, look, let's kind of go outside the box and think of something that, we could help. If people got things that want to get rid of that could help them out, that he certainly would buy. And I mean, we use different outlets to get rid of. We sell a lot of the campers and stuff on the lot, or we can put them online, stuff like that. Lawnmowers, trailers. We can always use trailers around there to haul stuff.
Well, you're being innovative. You're being resourceful.
Right.
So that's one of the keys to success, I guess.
That is it, and it works well for us.
Yeah. Well, you ever make any of them kind of deals, Ronnie?
Oh yes, we made many deals on campers, boats, wedding rings, and we've had land. We traded for a lot of things. And one good deal we have also going on right now is the F-150. It's over $11,000 savings because you buy F-150 XLT, they put leather in it and a liner bed. So that's a great thing that's going on right now, and everyone ought to come down and get those vehicles while they last.
You like those F-150s?
Yes, sir. Love them.
What's really great about them?
Well, F-150s you have plenty of room in the truck. A lot of people now, instead of having a car, they have a truck as their main transportation. A lot of women buy F-150s, and that's a great thing. And this has been the best-selling truck for the last 42 years. And it's the number one selling truck, and that truck is a great truck that's on the road, and it's better than the Dodge. I understand. A lot of people try to drive them, but it's a great truck.
not pointing at anybody here, but
no.
Ronnie, that's what we like about you. Tell it like it is. What else this morning?
Back on that F-150, that is the amount of time I see the service work, on them and stuff. Them are one of the most reliable vehicles. We see very, very few problems with them. And of course, they will qualify for our cheapest oil change in town, $28.95 up to 5 quarts. Most of them hold a little bit more than 5 quarts, but they are very, very good vehicles. And that's one of the top sellers that we got. And people's kind of gone to them vehicles due to the fact that the room that they have. When I go on vacation, I like to take a F-150 because the back seats has got more room than any vehicle Ford has. So if you got kids and ball equipment or golf clubs or anything like that, you got as much room with one of them trucks as you about to with any vehicle.
Oh, okay. Well, I asked and I got my answer here. So, but it's been a very popular number, hasn't it?
Yes.
And you said, I believe, the best-selling truck in America.
Yeah. Yes, the best-selling truck in America. And right now, it's real hot outside, and you need to come down to Bates Ford. We'll cut some good deals. Because it's hot outside, we want to get inside and cut the deal and move on to the next deal.
Speaking of hot weather and all that, I bet you do a lot of air conditioning.
We are slammed. Yesterday, we were trying to figure out ways to where we could get cars parked on our lot. We're so busy. We seriously ran out of parking on our lot as far as for our service department. I mean, I thought I was going to put some cars at Publix parking lot. We actually added a back lot in the very back, and I was back there with a couple of my guys, and we were trying to maneuver cars so we could actually get more vehicles. We are very busy. Service is, just crazy busy. We've got, we do the oil changes. We keep 5 guys doing oil changes at all times, so we stay busy with service. We do a lot of quick maintenance, brakes, batteries, tires. We're heavily into tires. We put 3 or 4 sets of tires on yesterday. And the tires have rebates right now up to $130. So you buy a set of tires, you can get $130 back on the set. So, we're real competitive as far as that goes on any kind of, service, as far as what you think, brakes, batteries, tires, and stuff like that. So it makes us really busy. So, one of the problems we're having is finding place to put cars.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a good problem to have, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And you said you've got 5 people that are there to change oil.
At all times. I mean, the way we do oil changes is on a first come, first served basis because we stay so busy. I mean, Saturday mornings we might do 25 or 30, between 8 and 10:30, and I have 5 or 6 guys there. Sometimes I have 6 on Saturdays where I got a kid that kind of goes to school and helps after lunch. There's times where I have 6, but I've got a kid that's going to school training to be a technician, and he comes in and works from 12 to close, and then on Saturdays he works every Saturday. So on Saturdays I'll have 6 guys there. So we'll have them lined up ready to go.
Well, oil change up to 5 quarts for $28.95.
That's it.
Plus tax, of course.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that about takes care of our time here this morning. But Ronnie, anything you want to say before you leave?
Yeah, like he said, it's real busy because my wife been bugging me every day to get her car in to get the oil changed. And I said, my car needs the oil change too. But we just, it's so busy, but I'll get it in hopefully before the weekend's up.
All right. Well, thank y'all. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
That is Paul Tubbs, Deal Operations Manager, and Ronnie Kelly in sales at Bates Ford, 1673 West Main, the dealer to trade for anything it don't eat. 10 and a half after the hour, and I want to welcome Sergeant P.J. Hardy this morning to our program, who is the Public Information Officer, among other things, for the Lebanon Police Department. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Well, let's talk about yesterday, because you know more than I know what actually happened. But all I know is when I got in my car yesterday, I didn't hear us on the radio. I came through the intersection at Carthage Highway and the bypass, and noticed a traffic light was out, but I didn't think anything about it. And people, by the way, were doing the 4-way stop, which is what you're supposed to do when the traffic light doesn't work, I think.
That is correct.
And it was going fine. Still didn't think anything about it till I looked out here and saw the tower light wasn't on. As I got closer to the building, then I knew something was wrong. And of course, we were out here in the dark, and it was about 10 minutes till 7, I think they said, when the current went off, and it came on at 2 minutes after 8. Somebody just didn't want me to be on the radio yesterday.
That must be it, Coleman. No, I doubt that. No, there was a line down and also a transformer that blew. So they had quite a bit of work on their hands.
And it was right out close to where your office is, isn't it?
Just on Tennessee Boulevard there. Yes, sir. It was just down the road. So yeah, it was lights out for us as well, but we were able to manage.
Okay. Well, I guess they must have done a pretty good job to be back on in an hour and 12 minutes. I think that's about what it was. But
yeah, those crews are amazing. When they get out there, they get on it and get after it. So yeah, it's an unfortunate that happens every once in a while. Fortunately, we have a backup generator that'll run a portion of our operations so that we're not completely in the dark. But it did affect us for a little while.
How long did it take you to get that generator going, or is it just an automatic thing?
It's typically automatic. We had to maneuver with it a little bit yesterday to get it going, but
prime the pump just a little
bit, yeah. So, but it was fine.
Well, I hadn't really thought about that. I mean, I have thought about it here, and I know once upon a time we had some equipment here, but it takes an awful lot of current. Electrical power to operate us here, and when this was back in the 60s, I think it was called Civil Defense then, before WEMA. But anyway, it was out here, but it wasn't much pumpkin, as you might say. So we never have had auxiliary power really, except for that little time. Well, anyway, you've got a lot I know you want to talk about this morning. The fair's over. Anything about the fair before we go on?
As usual, it's a great event. We had lots of people show up and lots of great things going on. We had a little incident from, the unfortunate things social media, it's a love-hate relationship as big as it is and as wonderful as it is in some situations. It played against us in a small situation that occurred at the fair. Social media made it a little bit bigger than it was. So, but outside of that, it was a great event.
Any arrests been made from that, or going to be maybe?
Arrests were made. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yeah, yes, sir. So
I guess their date in court is coming up.
is coming.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So
How many?
3, possibly 4. It might have been a fourth, but I'm not too sure on that. But I know at least 3 were arrested.
What is it? Disorderly conduct, or
At the core of the situation, it was just a fight between teenagers, and that's all that it was. It's no different than we've ever had any other year at the fair or any other event. But things just kind of got out of hand, and some decided to take advantage of the situation and play on people's fear and spread some rumors, and it just again got on social media, and it was just a hot mess for a hot second, but we took care of it and got rolling back.
well, good. You've got America's Night Out Against Crime coming up, and we need to go to a break. But it is Tuesday, October the 1st.
Tuesday, October 1st, down Fox Park from 5 until 8.
All right. Well, we'll talk more about that in a minute, but let's take a break right now. Sergeant P.J. Hardy is here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:14. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. $39.95. You get tire rotation, safety check, up to 5 quarts of oil, tax, and disposal. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic volume really crowded now here on 40 westbound, trying to get past Spence Lane here. Coming in by the airport, we had a minor fender bender over there earlier. OHB at Central Pike and Hermitage, that's one of the latest wrecks out here. It's also non-injury. It is crazy slow now at times on 40 west coming through Mount Juliet. Especially trying to get out of Lebanon as well there on 40 westbound and passing 840. Celebrate autumn at Ober Gatlinburg during Oktoberfest, September 21st through October 28th. Check it out now at obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
It's a new day at Lebanon Health and Rehabilitation. Lebanon Health and Rehabilitation has experienced new leadership, a new atmosphere at the same location in the heart of Lebanon, located at 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Health and Rehabilitation is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. It's a new day at Lebanon Health Care and Rehabilitation.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So, what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604. Now you can get a great-looking cut in less time every time with an Exmark. The Mowers Landscape Pros trust 2-to-1 over the next best-selling brand of mowers. Step up to the Radius, the next great zero-turn rider from Exmark. Now available for as little as $4,999 with attractive financing offers, too. Check out the Exmark Radius today at Absolute Kubota, 1325 West Main Street in Lebanon. Exmark, ready to work for you.
Coleman and Company, it's a Thursday. We thank you for joining us, and we're happy to have Sergeant P.J. Hardy this morning, again, information officer and other things for the Lebanon Police Department. But you get to be on television or do radio or whatever when there's something that of importance.
Yeah, I have a face for radio, but oftentimes I end up on TV, unfortunately. But it's just all part of the job.
Well, you do a good job, but I think I believe you gravitate to this a little bit. Your personality, whatever, you get to the facts and you tell the story well.
I do enjoy it. I really do.
Well, let's talk about America's Night Out Against Crime. I think you've been doing this for a number of years.
Yeah, it's National Night Out. We've been doing it several years now. It's always the first Tuesday of October. There's 2 dates nationally that is recognized. There's one in August, and there's one in October. We choose to do the one in October. The one in August just too close to school starting, and it's super hot.
Yeah.
October just is a better date for everyone. But it's a great event for our community to come out, stand against crime. It shows that we're united against crime in our community. All of the first responder groups will be out there, us, Sheriff's Department, Mount Jewett Police Department, WEMA, Lebanon Fire, TWRA, State Highway Patrol. We're all out there, showing the equipment and letting the attendees look at some of the stuff that we have to offer to help fight crime in the community. We also have usually mid-20s or so nonprofit organizations that are out there sharing information about what services that they provide for the community. There's bouncy houses and food and games and activities, candy giveaway and that sort of thing. So it's really a great event. Come on out and enjoy it. Everything is free. There's no cost to it.
3 hours long, so I guess you come and go as you like.
Absolutely.
Come early and leave early if you want, but you can come and stay for the whole 3 hours.
Absolutely. We have shuttle. You can call it bus, I guess. We use the trolleys from the fair to shuttle folks from auxiliary parking lots. It gets pretty busy. It gets pretty crowded. It grows every year.
Do you think this makes I'm sure it makes a good impression on everybody, maybe especially younger people?
Yeah, for sure.
The younger children, even teenagers, and that sort.
For sure. Yeah, because we do have the equipment out there, and we have our canines and our motorcycles, and kids love dogs and motorcycles, and the Sheriff's Department has our horses, and everybody loves horses. So yeah, it does. It makes a really big impression on them, and that's part of what we want to do too. The thing about crime is that we all have a vested interest in it. If kids grow up fearing the police, which unfortunately that happens in some cases, that takes away from the overall well-being of the community, because if something happens to them and they don't report it to us, we're not working together to fight that crime. So it is a good way for us to connect with the kids so they can see all the things that we do and all the equipment and whatnot. So,
well, this will be before your visit, your regular scheduled visit back with us. And again, it's Tuesday, October 1st, 5 to 8 at Don Fox Park. And it's similar to what you've done in the past, but I guess no two of them are exactly alike. Aren't you the MC for this as well?
I do. I do a little bit of MCing with that. We have a little bit of a dance off with some of the mascots, local mascots that we have. So, it grows and grows every year. Different things are added, and it's just a great event. And we couldn't do it without our sponsors. We've got a bunch of wonderful sponsors that help us out with that, and we really appreciate them.
Well, it's a little diversion for you people in law enforcement too. You're not exactly fighting crime when you're over there for 3 hours.
That's correct. And so it gives the officers a good opportunity to again kind of showcase the things that they do and the special training that they have and connect with the community.
All right, you have had a Citizens Academy, I think that's what we call it, and it's an opportunity for people to come and learn more about how the police department works, and you've got one that's coming up, and you've got a deadline for entering it, I believe.
We do. Our next Citizens Academy starts next Thursday night. The Citizens Academy runs 8 Thursday nights in a row, from 6 until 8:30-ish, we like to say, because sometimes we have fun, stay a little bit later. But it's a great way for those who are interested in how the Lebanon Police Department operates, the personnel, the staff, the administration, and again, the equipment and whatnot that we utilize in the department. It's a great way for them to come in and see firsthand how all that works.
And here again, you have a lot to do. You kind of put this together, don't you? You have a lot of help, I'm sure, from the different departments or whatever, but aren't you there every time and kind of leading the way?
Yeah, every night I'm there just to make sure that everything kind of gets taken care of. We provide a meal. We provide giveaways. Again, it's another free event. It doesn't cost anything, or free 99, as we like to say. Doesn't cost anything, and it's a really good. There are things that you will experience and see at the Citizens Academy that the average citizen may never experience. lots of different types of equipment. We have our new Milo training. It's a video training program where they can kind of see some of the scenarios that officers might encounter. And you get into those shoot, no shoot type situations. We use the laser weapons in that Milo simulator, and it's really eye opening for a lot of folks. Our SWAT operations, our lab, our clandestine lab operations. A lot of the things that you'll see, like I said, most folks will never see and don't realize exist. So it's really a great event. We do have a deadline tomorrow end of business day. So tomorrow at 5:00 is the application deadline. So
how's the best way to apply?
The super easiest way is go to our Facebook page. There's images of the applications, and there's also a write-up about what the program is. But if you'll just click on the application image, print it off, fill it out, and then you can email it back, drop it off, snail mail. Well, you might not want to do snail mail, might not make it by tomorrow at 5, but just get it back to us one way or the other. That's the simplest way to do it. You can stop by the police department. We have them in our main lobby, applications to fill out. It takes 2 minutes, if that, to fill it out.
Okay. But think about this. So you've got a deadline of tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 5, yes. And right now, it's a pretty good sized class. It's an ebb and flow. Some classes are bigger than others. It's just the way it goes sometimes with timing. Our fall class seems to be a little bit more popular than the spring class. A lot of people are really busy in the spring and the fall. They're kind of in that lull before the holidays, looking for something to do. One of the other things I want to make sure that I mention is that with this class, if you are inclined to get your concealed carry permit through state of Tennessee, we provide the 8 hours of training that's required. We provide that for free as part of the class. So the last Thursday night when we graduate, it's November, I want to say it's the 7th, and I think then on the 9th, that's Saturday, 2 days later, we go out to our range and do that 8 hour training, 4 hours in the classroom and 4 hours on the actual range. And it gives you what you need in order to apply for a carry permit.
All right, we got about 3 minutes left here this morning. I want to, anything else you really want to mention?
Nope,
I was gonna just bring up this thing of vaping. It's kind of been in the news of we're hearing that it's much more dangerous maybe than was thought in the beginning, and I just wondered if you had some comments about that.
400 cases of illnesses, sicknesses, and medical complications due to vaping. Unfortunately, it's very prevalent, especially in our younger folks. That think that have been sold this false idea that it's healthier than smoking. Unfortunately, just like with a lot of other things out there in the marketplace, some things are more regulated than others. Vaping is one of those things that's not. So you can be getting all sorts of things in that vape, in those liquids, and people may not believe it or whatnot, but it is a gateway. The water-based vapes, those are dangerous as well because they have to add additives to it, and so you're intaking a lot of those additives that's in the water. It's not just pure water because there's always flavorings and that whatnot that they add to it. The next step up from that is then they add the nicotine. So now where a younger person may not be old enough to buy cigarettes, but stumble across someone that gives them a vape with nicotine in it. So now they're introduced to nicotine, which is, we know, highly addictive. And then beyond that, then they put the CBD oils and whatnot in it, and it becomes a monster. It really does. And unfortunately, it is so prevalent in our younger sect in every school. Popcorn lung is something that's very common with folks that they can get, and it's very dangerous.
Well, actually, but it is not illegal.
It is not. It is not illegal.
Do you think it might before long be illegal, or some changes come about?
Well, we're hoping that some changes come about, and we're hoping that the those who who deal with our younger folks, the schools and whatnot, really pay attention to that and have severe fines and punishments and whatnot, like they would with a student being caught with cigarettes in school, because it really is. It's very dangerous. 54, I think, percent vaping increases your chances of heart disease and lung issues by 54% with vaping. May not be as high as regular cigarettes, but it's up there, and that's the problem, because everyone is sold this false implication that it's a safer alternative, and it's not.
Yeah, I'm afraid we've just been sold a false bill of goods there, and maybe the truth is coming out. Well, we're about out of time here. Just a quick reminder, America's Night Out Against Crime by the Lebanon Police Department and others on Tuesday, October 1st, 5 to 8 at Don Fox Park.
Yes, sir.
And
look forward to everybody there.
The Citizens Academy, your registration for that ends tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Make sure you get your applications in. We start next Thursday, and we'll roll for 8 weeks, and it'll be a great time.
And we will see you hopefully back in this chair on this Thursday next month.
We will hopefully to be here.
All
yes.
Right. Thanks a lot. Sergeant P.J. Hardy, Information Officer for Lebanon Police Department. And that is part one of Coleman and Company. But please keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And it's 7:28. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota and Rental Exmark. Large inventory of Exmark mowers for homeowners and commercial users. #1 selling brand by 2-to-1 over any other commercial mower brand. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Well, good morning. Traffic volume extremely heavy now, making its way up through parts of Williamson County as we check it out live here on 65 northbound. It's moving here up by the Brentwood exits. Briley Parkway at County Hospital Road on an accident involving some injuries. A lot of flashing lights there in that part of Bordeaux this morning on Briley Parkway because of that accident. Again, it's near County Hospital Road, 24 East and Haywood Lane. They're right over to the side. The heaviest flows westbound, 24 there at Haywood Lane. Celebrate autumn at Ober-Gatlinburg during Oktoberfest, September 21st through October 28th. Check it out, obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Caring for a loved one is as natural as the weather. But just like the weather, one moment it's sunny, and the next you find yourself in the middle of a storm. So when it came time to take care of my dad, I knew I needed help. A reprieve from the storm, so to speak. That's when I found the Pavilion Senior Living. They have expertise and experience to weather the storms in your loved one's life. And now I can rest easy. Thank you, Pavilion Senior Living. You should visit thepavilionseniorliving.com to find out more.
Hi, everybody. Tommy Bryant. Join me every Friday at 6:30. Lebanon High Football takes on some of the very best competition, brought to you by Absolute Kubota, D.T. McCall and Sons, K. Maynard State Farm Insurance, Bakes and Hooker, Lebanon Police Chief Mike Justice, Wilson County Sheriff Robert Bryan, Wilson Bank and Trust, Dickey's Barbecue Pit, and A.G. and Johnson Realty and Auction. The Blue Devils play at Laverne Friday, September 13th.
Hey, this is Paul with Bates Ford, and I got some great deals for you. Right now, we've got some executive demos with up to $10,000 in rebates. We've got cars with zero interest for 72 months, and on the service side, we've got tires with rebates with up to $130, and as always, we've got the cheapest oil change in town, $28.95 for up to 5 quarts. So come see us at Bates Ford, 1673 West Main Street, the dealer that will trade for anything you don't need.
The heat wave will continue for your Thursday. Lots of sunshine stays in the forecast as we go through this afternoon. We'll see near record heat. Highs will climb all the way into the upper 90s. Now, if you're going to be out and about this evening, no problems weather-wise. We'll see mainly clear skies through the overnight with lows falling into the lower 70s. That's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Nisa Womax.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2 here on a Thursday morning. It's time for us to talk about the Pavilion Senior Living in Lebanon, and Heather Sadler joins us this morning to do that very thing. Heather, good morning.
Good morning.
And how are you?
I am very, very well. How are you?
I'm doing great, and it's nice to have you with us today to talk about the Pavilion and maybe other things. I think this Sherry's Run is one that is very special for you, right?
It is. It is. They actually are they actually named Jeff as who they were running in memory of. So I was just on Facebook just a few minutes ago looking at memories from last year. So, it's bittersweet, but I've said all along the Sadler Tribe supports Sherry's Run wholeheartedly because they have supported us through, cancer and chemo and radiation, traveling to Texas to MD Anderson. And then ultimately, even after he passed away, they've been so supportive. And, I hate Jeff's not here to walk this year because he was, he was a big supporter of Sherry's Run. But my little girls and I are making that something that we're going to give back to make sure that, other people can benefit from Sherry's Run. So it'll be a little bittersweet Saturday that Jeff's not here, but we're pretty excited. I've named our team Princess Protection Agency. So
all right.
We've got a lot of people out there protecting these my little princesses, including myself, and but especially with my two toddlers. So.
All right, we need to, of course, talk about the Pavilion this morning, and there's a lot to talk about there. The Pavilion Senior Living here in Lebanon at 1409 Medical Center Drive, right north of Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, and that's the way we tell everybody to get there. Don't turn into the ER, but go one street further, take a left, and you're down there on the right. And over 2 years now, and you're already adding on. And Heather, it's been a good experience, no doubt.
It has been a good experience. So I was looking at the construction and talking to the team yesterday, and we're on complete deadline, and we're on to shoot for first quarter of 2020. So they're telling me earlier in the quarter, and I'm like, I know how weather can get, but right now everything's completely online and on time, and we're ready to rock and roll. So we're actually pre-leasing all those units right now. So we have some pretty good specials on that, and right now we're offering $500 off for 6 months to pre-lease those 14 units. I've already leased 2 of them, so as it gets closer, I'm sure we'll lease a few more. But we have a wait list currently, so some people are actually going to the new wing, ready for that. So we've got a lot going on that little campus over there, and of course, we've got, our current residents that we're loving on and enjoying, but we're looking forward to serving more seniors.
Well, no doubt you are, and $500 off a month for 6 months there, that's a pretty good deal.
That's a pretty good deal. I know. I just twisted a few arms to get that. So, but
that's like an introductory offer.
Exactly. But because we're so unsure of the actual open date, of course, I wanted to be fair and give something. Just because when you're under new construction, you're not quite sure when you're going to get everything done. So that's and it's kind of like what we did when we opened, and that was a pretty successful move. So I decided we would try to do that again to give us some incentive to get on that list and go ahead and get those rooms ready.
Well, right now.
I've always said it takes 6 months to move into assisted living from the first time you talk about it to actual move in. There's a 6 month period. Just, thinking about it, getting things ready and getting everybody on board and finding the perfect place. And so we're about to that 6 month spot right about now. So
you're saying you think the new addition will be ready in 6 months?
It should be ready in January, February, yep.
Okay, that's less than 6 months. Okay, well, you're moving right along.
You're better at math than I am, Coleman.
you've got some other maybe not news to share with us, but you've got other plans for some more of the property there too. So it's a long range thing.
It is a long range thing. So Cornerstone Place is going to be our independent living, active adult senior lifestyle community that'll be adjacent to that same property. So it'll all be on that campus over there is what we're calling it. So we will build what we're calling them are villages, and it'll offer lots more amenities for seniors that are on the go and don't want as much to handle at home. So,
all right, well, we're kind of ready to close things out here. Want to remind everybody your website, thepavilionseniorliving.com, and of course you can reach Heather at 615-444-5556. And Heather, thanks for being with us this morning. We'll see you next Thursday, and have a great weekend.
Sounds good. Y'all too. Bye-bye.
All right. Heather Sadler, she is the marketing director for the Pavilion Senior Living at Lebanon. We're right now 21 and a half minutes away from 8 o'clock, and I guess we could call this a special program this morning. I think it is. I've invited Susan Shaw to be with us today, and Susan has brought some guests. And Susan is from the mayor's office of the mayor of Wilson County, Randall Hutto, of course. And Susan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
We welcome you back to our program again.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Wonderful. It's good to be here.
What all are you doing, by the way?
A lot. There's a lot going on in the county. You know, there's a lot of growth, and so we have a lot of projects that are interesting also. The county just rolled out a new flag, as a matter of fact. I just wanted to mention that it was launched at the fair. So we have a Wilson County flag for the first time ever.
Oh, yes, right. Yeah, I've heard about that. I'm not sure I've seen it, but I've heard about it. And but a lot of things are going on, and you're here for a special reason this morning.
Yes, I'm here representing Drug Free Wilco, which is a coalition that I'm a part of, and it started over a year ago. And just for your listeners, Drug Free Wilco has the mission to prevent and reduce drug misuse and addiction among youth and adults. And in doing that, we provide education, communication, and we create awareness of the problem and of the resources that are available in Wilson County. So September happens to be National Recovery Month. And we're celebrating that month with the theme of Join the Voices of Recovery, Together We Are Stronger. We want people to know that addiction is treatable, and anyone who's facing the challenges of addiction, they should have hope and they can reach out for resources. In fact, we have a new website that has a list of resources, and that is drugfreewilco.org available. So, the extent of the problem is huge. In 2017, Wilson County had 34 overdose deaths. 26 of those were from opioids. And in the first 6 months of 2019, law enforcement already reported 25 overdoses. And that doesn't include what the hospitals and clinics are reporting. So it's a large problem.
Wow.
It's a large problem, and there are
25 in the first 6 months.
Yes.
So if that trend continued, you say 50 for the whole year.
Yes. And that's underreported.
Yeah.
And it is increasing. And we saw a report that came out, national report that came out recently, and Tennessee's overdoses are on the rise. So there's a lot of work to be done to get it under control. But I brought two people with me here today that have been through substance abuse and are in, recovery, and their stories are the way to help us understand and develop the compassion and provide the support.
All right. We'll go ahead and make the introductions here, if you will.
Byron Pirtle is in our Drug Free Wilco Coalition and is a retired pharmacist. And he's been on both sides of this and is helping people these days, with his stories of recovery. So I'd like to turn it over to Byron.
Well, Byron, good morning and welcome to our program again.
Morning, Coleman.
You've been here at least once before.
More than that.
Actually, I don't know whether you've been on the air with us. I think you have. But anyway, yeah, you've come out here with flu shots a few times, too.
That's correct.
Yeah. Well, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
And you're retired?
I am, as of about 3 months ago.
Oh, okay. Well, what have you done in the last 3 months?
Well, I don't know how I had time to work, to be honest with you.
A lot of people say that.
I've had some family issues with my father. Just he's moving up to my house. He's having some problems, and as we all do when we get older, and just staying busy with family stuff, and then also trying to do some things with Drug Free Wilco, and also to help with education in the high schools, maybe with some taking our message about drug addiction and overdoses onto a younger generation, and hopefully we can prevent a few of those things from happening.
Well, let me interrupt you right here because we have one other person. Let's go ahead and introduce him, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll hear their stories, okay?
Great.
All right. And This is?
Logan Rawson. Logan volunteers with the drug court, and he's been a speaker on one of our panel discussions, a town hall that we had. And he volunteers with drug court, and after having been through it himself, he's got a lot of good advice and stories and support.
Logan, good morning and welcome to our program.
Good morning, Coleman.
And how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
What do you do most of the time?
I'm a small business owner, so I
we'll
work all
give
the
you
time.
a little commercial here. Tell us about your business.
I call it Clear Solutions Glass and Mirror. I do architectural glazing, frameless showers, mirrors, window repair, stuff like that. The soundproofing, glass, anything.
How long have you been doing that?
Almost all my life.
Yeah.
Since I was 18, basically.
Are you staying busy?
Super busy.
Well, that's a good problem.
Yeah, that's good.
But you've got a story to share with us too.
I do. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Okay. Well, let's take a break. I think MJ's ready. We'll do our break right here, and we'll come back and hear from both of these gentlemen here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:44. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, and they've got the lifetime brake pad guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns a vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Well, good morning. It's an accident getting some attention right now out here on Briley Parkway near County Hospital Road. Just along the flashing lights over in Bordeaux in that area. Fessler there at Rudel Avenue. That's an accident at Hermitage. Traffic's picked up quite a bit now as far as that volume on 40 West coming past Spence Lane in from Hermitage Donaldson. It's also bumper to bumper at times on 24 and through the Hickory Hollow area. Celebrate Autumn in Ober-Gatlinburg during Oktoberfest, September 21st through October 28th. Check it out, obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
If you're a fan of Wilson County High School football, make sure to tune in to the Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show every Friday after the Lebanon High football game right here on WANT 98.9. Hi, I'm John Boyce. Trent Perry and myself will have all the mid-state scores as well as interviews from each coach within the county. The Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Designers Carpet, Fakes and Hooker, Lebanon Appliance, Mitchie's Landscape and Design, Palometto's Insurance, Kenny Salas and Justin Davis with Blackwell Realty, and Sammy Bees. The Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show every Friday night.
Head coach Mike Vrabel's in year number 2 with talent on defense.
It's intercepted. Kevin Myers, Jarrell Casey, First John Landry with the sack.
Join us right here with the voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, and Coach Dave McGinnis.
Brought to you by Absolute Kubota Exmart, Bates Ford, Fakes and Hooker, Steve Moore Plumbing, and the Jewelers.
This is Wilson County's home for real country music and the Tennessee Titans. Real Country 98.9.
Hi, everybody. It's Tommy Bryan. Tune in on Saturdays throughout the fall as Cumberland University's Phoenix takes on the very best in small college football. Cumberland goes on the road to play at Thomas More University Saturday, September 14th. Kickoff is at 12:30. Join me and Bob Lee Saturdays during the college football season right here on WANT and WCOR.
Coleman and Company, we welcome you to our final segment here on a Thursday morning. If you're just joining us, let me go around the table here. We have Susan Shaw, who is from the mayor's office and representing a part of the board of Drug Free Wilco. And she's brought with her this morning Byron Pirtle, and we also have Logan Rawson with us. And each of these gentlemen has a story to tell. And Byron, we kind of started with you, so we're going to go back to you, and you tell us that you're a retired pharmacist now, but you're staying really busy in retirement, but you're also trying to work with the drug court, I guess, and young people, and help people maybe avoid, I would say, maybe a mistake you made earlier in life.
Well, that's true. What we're trying to do here is reduce the stigma of recovery and addiction because it doesn't respect anybody. It doesn't matter who you are, what station you are in life, or what you do for a living, or what family you came from. We are all susceptible. And, the reason that there's a stigma, I believe, is because to begin with, it seemed like a choice. and then it became not a choice. And for me, it started back when I hurt my back in the 80s, and had a problem getting off of pain medicine, which developed into a bigger problem, being a pharmacist especially, and sought help, and I got help, but so many people put this stigma on you that you're some kind of criminal lowlife, and that what we're trying to do is stop some of that, because that's not what happens to most people. It's something that we probably could do something about it one time, but after the fact, nobody chooses to be a drug addict. And the purpose of this is to stop what's happening now with especially teens and young adults that are using other substances and find themselves in the throes of addiction. And what's really scary right now with the amount of overdoses is fentanyl is very prevalent. It comes into this country and gets mixed with other things, and people don't know that it's in there. And if you're opiate naive and you take fentanyl, it doesn't take much to kill you. So it's very profitable for dealers to mix it in with different things. It can be mixed in with anything, and you don't know what you're getting anymore. So it's not only prescription drugs, it's not only alcohol, it's not only pain medicine, it's just about anything you talk about now has the possibility of being contaminated.
Well, your situation is not all that uncommon, I don't think. I remember a guy that worked here years and years ago. Actually, he's deceased now, but he had a football injury and got on some pain medication, and then it exploded, it expanded, and then here he was addicted to it.
Right.
And that sounds very similar to what you've done.
That's true. The only thing that I would add to that is I am not a victim, and I don't think that I chose to continue at some point, which was a bad choice. Luckily, some people intervened with me and helped me to get clean, and that was 28 years ago. So since that point in time, I've tried not to make it a secret what was going on with me. So, because here's my chance to help somebody else and to kind of make amends.
Right. Well, all right, Logan Rawson, you want to tell us your story?
Sure. My story is similar to Byron's a little bit, as in I spent a few years in the Army. In that time, I got a prescription for painkillers. And at that point, my addiction really took off. I just found myself no longer able to make the choice to stop using. It became compulsive. It became a need. And I let it, it progressed to the point where I was doing basically anything I needed to do to get my next fix, and it turned into a real issue for me. I found myself in the court system because of it, and it took a real intervention to get me back from the place I had went to. And I think a lot of addicts today, they don't start using, they don't go into it with the idea I'm going to become an addict, a drug addict. I'm going to basically ruin my life. A lot of people go in with the purest of intentions, a football injury or possibly something that's service connected, whatever it might be. We're just looking for a little bit of pain relief. But this disease of addiction is cunning, baffling, and powerful, and it can be very insidious.
Well, once you have this addiction and you have this need and this craving and so on, you almost have to have somebody to help you get off of that. And how do they, as much as you would like to tell us, how does that come about? I mean, do you have to be almost locked up where you can't get it and climb the walls or something? Or, I've heard that's what happened to Johnny Cash, but one of you talk about that a little, both of you, if you will.
Certainly. I had to have someone show me how to use. I had to have somebody show me how to take my first prescription. I believe someone's going to need to show me the way to recovery. I wasn't able to just figure this out on my own, and I had to find my own bottom. But then whenever I reached that point where I was willing to admit that I had a problem, I needed somebody to help me. And everybody's story is different. For me, it took a bit of intensive time and energy to get me back on track, and that's why I love working with Wilco and drug-free Wilco and the 15th Judicial Drug Court system, because a lot of these people that are incarcerated, I reached a point where I didn't care much whether what it took to get my next fix, and that disease of addiction, brought me to that point. So if we're able to take some of these people who are incarcerated and get them into treatment and get them back on the right track, not only are we saving the county and the state quite a bit of money for not incarcerating these individuals, but they're going out and becoming productive members of society years before they would have a chance to if they set and they, and I'm not to say that we shouldn't be held accountable for the crimes we commit, but there are different routes and they're proving effective for us.
How long ago how long has it been since you overcame that problem?
I've been clean for 5 years. God willing, 6 years in December. I've been volunteering with drug court for probably close to 3 now, and I graduated perhaps 4 years ago, somewhere in that neighborhood. And it's been a blessing ever since I got on board. It's a real honor to be able to work with them.
Byron, you want to add to that?
I would just say that everybody gets here by a different route. I think without getting into any kind of religious discussion about it, I will talk about the spiritual part of it, that I don't believe anyone overcomes this without some kind of, we call it a higher power, but basically it's God intervening for us because we were unable to help ourselves. So through other people and I believe a spiritual experience, most people, that's how they get clean. And I think that it's done for a reason, just like the cancer person that survives and helps cancer people. Until you've worn the shoes, it's very difficult to help anybody. And once you have worn the shoes, it's not so difficult to tell your story to somebody. And maybe they can relate and get some help too.
Okay, it's somebody that might hear this and I need to get help. Where do they go?
For starters, there's a website for meetings. There's a lot of great resources out there, such as Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, and they all have sites online where you can go and you can find a meeting. So the first thing I would say is to find the meeting. And when you get to the meeting, ask for help. And any AA or any meeting you go to, those people will be more than willing to help you and go out of their way to do so. All you have to do is, ask.
Well, I appreciate, Susan, I appreciate you bringing these two gentlemen today, and their stories similar, not nobody's the same, I guess, and hopefully somebody in our audience is going to be benefited from your coming out and being with us. Now, I know you've got another thing or two you want to tell us before we leave, and we've got about 3 minutes left here this morning.
One of those things is that to find what resources are available, you can look at our website, drugfreewilco.org. It has resources on there. Our next Drug Free Wilco Coalition meeting is September 25th. And also, we just started, we're proud of this, we're starting a youth prevention coalition. It's called YPC Wilco, and it's a youth division of Drug Free Wilco, high school students. The first meeting is October 1st. It's going to be at Gibbs Pharmacy in their community center. So we're inviting high school students, whether they're homeschooled or whatever, to join us for that. On October 21st, we're hosting a panel discussion and seminar for faith-based leaders, and it is to bring them into the conversation so that to give them tools to help their congregations, because you can see this problem, it affects anybody. It doesn't discriminate. It can be mothers, daughters, fathers, brothers, colleagues. It's everywhere. So every congregation is also struggling with this issue. So that we're having our first outreach to the faith-based leaders. Mm-hmm. One other thing I wanted to mention from the mayor's office is that one of his visions was to start a seminar series for seniors, and we have one. It's called Aging Matters, and our next seminar is on October 22nd, and it's called Decluttering, and it's to help people that are downsizing, moving a parent into assisted living or whatever, and how do you get rid of things.
Oh, okay, that ought to be interesting. We've got less than a couple of minutes here, but just ask Ron and Logan here. Do you feel like there's a lot of by people who don't have this problem and maybe not been too closely associated with somebody that has a that in their mind they have there's a stigma thing that they don't really understand at all what somebody goes through like you two have?
Obviously, if you haven't experienced it, I mean, I can talk about any kind of problem with, as I brought up, cancer for one thing. I haven't had cancer, so how can I carry a message about that when I haven't had it? I don't have any credibility, as far as dealing with it. So I have to talk about what I've experienced, and that's the people I can help. And I think, that each of us are put in that position to do what we can do based off of our own experience. And so,
and Logan, I guess you agree with that.
Oh yes, sir, certainly. I don't think if you haven't experienced, I could explain to you how to ride a bike all day, but if you've never done it, it wouldn't quite make sense, would it? And I think that's what is so important for recovering addicts and alcoholics to come and help each other.
But there is good news, and there are people who want to help, who are willing to help, and there's avenues to overcome this if a person can just force themselves to take advantage of it. And that's a lot of why you're here this morning. And go to the website, find out more if you'd like to. And we are out of time. Susan, thanks so much for being with us, and we thank you two gentlemen as well, Byron Pirtle and Logan Ross. And that's going to do it for Thursday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow for the Friday edition. Till then, I wish you a tremendous day.